Hobo version 2.1. Hell, everybody's talking about this RDA, the Hobo. Hobo this, Hobo that. My grandma, she's 95 freaking years old over here, sitting in a corner, and she's like, Rip, give me a hit of that Hobo. First, the price point. The shop I received this sucker from is selling this thing right now, retail for $99.99. But here's the cool thing. The guy that sent this to me for a review that's selling it on his site, okay, like I said, originally $99.99, he's actually doing a 15% discount for this product with a discount code, which I'll give you guys at the end of this video. Gotta love it. So right now, I've got a single micro coil using 26 gauge Kanthal in this bad boy sitting on this RDNA 30 by Vapor Shark, vaping at 23 watts. Here we go. Single coil. Single freaking coil. And that goes to show you, not only does this thing chuck certified, but more is not always better. Bigger, badder, bolder is not always better. Got a funny analogy for you. Just because your dick is bigger than his, doesn't mean the guy with a smaller dick can't please a woman more than you. And the same thing carries over in coil building. The skill is all in the build. The addy you're using, and airflow placement. You can run it in single coil, dual coil, or quad coil mode, but I got a single coil in here running at 23 watts with a 1 ohm build. The performance off this device is fantastic, whether you're running in single coil or dual coil or even quad coil mode. Quad coil mode is a little bit excessive to me. Again, that's talking about measuring dicks. The flavor you get off this device is fantastic depending on how well and how you build this sucker. I mean, running in single coil mode, I noticed the flavor isn't quite there compared to running this sucker in dual, but it's still really good in single. Really good. I would say it's in my top 5. In my top 5 for flavor, vapor, it's up there with the best of them. I mean, this thing can really chuck. You got airflow options, which I'll show you guys in the close-ups. But back to flavor. I would say, like I said, in my top 5, it's not up there in my top 3. It's not there with the Veritas and the Plume Veil and the Vertex. And the Vertex, for some of you guys, I know I get these questions all the time. Rip, what's your favorite RDA? Well, favorite, I mean, that's just a broad question. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. But the flavor I get off of the Vertex version 2, I just did a review on it. That's my favorite addy so far. I just keep going back to it. I keep going back to it for the flavor. It gives me that intense, warm to hot, dense vape. And that takes the cake right now. That's my #1 spot. For your cloud chasers, though, this thing, it beats the Vertex version 2. It beats the Plume Veil. Plume Veil's good with the cap off or with the drip tip out. But this thing, stock, beats the Vertex. It beats the Plume Veil. It beats the Veritas. It beats my top 3. I'm a flavor junkie. I'm a flavor junkie, okay? I mean, it's in my top 5 as far as vapor category and flavor category. It's a good piece. You can adjust your airflow from the top cap, which I'll show you guys in the close-ups, or the barrel right in front of the coil. I love how you can close this sucker off, and I love how you can run this thing in single coil mode. That is a big plus, and I keep saying that for devices that offer that option. Huge. Okay, I got her halfway closed off. I mean, look at that vapor production. Crazy shit! Close her off even more. Yeah, I'll leave a little slither open. Oh yeah, flavor, man. It just intensifies even more. That's what I love. I love that restrictive lung hit, but I also love having the option to open her up if I just want to cloud chase, man. If I want to chuckify. Okay, first of all, this is a 22mm addy. Fits on all my mechanical mods, variable voltage, variable wattage devices, and all my mechanical mods. It sits down flush, and it makes a connection with all the mechanical mods that I own. This is made of 316 medical grade stainless steel. The deck is machined from a solid block of 316 stainless steel. You'll see what I'm talking about in the close-ups, of course. You've got a dual airflow control system with a 2-piece top cap system, which I'll also show you guys down close. The deck has a detachable juice well / barrier, which makes it easy. If you want to do your build, you just take that detachable juice barrier or juice well out, you take it off, you do your builds, you're good to go, you reinstall it, boom. Okay, on the deck, you've got a positive post block, which is housed by a peak insulator. And then the negative posts are milled into the deck, but it's different than any other RDA that I've seen. You'll know what I'm talking about in the close-ups. It's like a U-shape. Like I mentioned, this thing's compatible on all my devices. 510 threads are buttery smooth, and you have a copper positive pin post, which is adjustable. All my drip tips fit or snug as a bug are compatible. And last but not least, this bad boy is proudly made in the good old US of A. Now time for the machine quality rating, and that includes machine quality, machine oil, etc. All that combined, and this sucker gets rated between a 1 and 10 scale, 8 out of a 10. 8 out of a 10, 6, 6.5 is average for me, so 8 out of a 10 is outstanding. When I received this sucker, it was flawless. I mean, there were no scratches, no burrs, no machine oil. I mean, you could tell they cleaned this sucker, and that's great quality control. Great quality control. The threads on the detachable deck slash juice barrier, and then the deck are they're not janky, but I would say they're average. I mean, they're not buttery smooth, but it's really hard to get buttery smooth threads when those threads are as tiny as they are. But I just want to mention that the threads are about average. It's not anything stellar on that end, but if they were, this thing would have probably gotten like a 9 out of a 10. Okay, that's how good and clean this device is, all the way from, you know, the engraving on the front, which is CNC engraved. You can tell with the slots, there's no burrs around it. There's nothing hanging off. I mean, it's just clean, clean, clean. And this is another pro for me, but it uses grub nuts, okay? And grub nuts, you got to have an Allen key, or it comes with an Allen key, and that's how you tighten them down. Okay, and these grub nuts, for me, they make a way better connection. So now the con, yeah, one con. I found one con for this device that really annoyed me, and that was on the top cap, they did not include an adjustable airflow hole for your single coilers, okay? So yeah, those are the pros and the cons for this device. Let's go ahead and dive down. I'm going to show you all the parts, how to put her together, all that gravy. You ready? Let's go. Here's the Hobo version 2.1. You got the deck section, you got the detachable juice well slash barrier section, and then you've got the top cap sections. Okay, this is the outer barrel, and this is the top cap, which fits over the outer barrel. And here is the deck section of the Hobo version 2.1. As you guys can see, your peak insulator. The peak insulator for the positive post housing. Look at the rest of this deck. You got the 2 grooves on each side for your cotton. Oh yeah. Post holes, 2 millimeters in diameter, and you got these grub screws at the top which screw down, make a connection with all your leads. The entire deck is machined from a solid block of 316 stainless steel. And look at the post, the negative post. Okay, those negative posts are milled into the deck, and it's like one giant U. And you've got this peak insulator, the black peak insulator, which houses the positive post block with the 2 post holes. Okay, that's how it works. Pretty cool. Some I haven't seen on any RDA yet. Not this design. This is the first for me. Another quick view of this deck. Machining, top notch, baby. You got your threads down here for the detachable juice well slash barrier and an O-ring to seal in the juice. And you've got this knurling finish to help grip when you want to take off that detachable juice well slash barrier. And then here's the bays, hashtag sick ass tits, baby. Made in a good old US of A. You got this copper pin, this copper adjustable 510 pin. And then the standard 510 thread, smooth as butter. Like I mentioned in FaceTime, fits on all my devices. Here's the detachable juice well slash barrier. It's got 2 O-rings on that bad boy, and you got these 2 giant slots for airflow. Inside that barrier, you've got these threads which screw onto the base. Alright, so back to the deck. What's really cool about this device and this design is, let's say you do your build, you got your dual coil build or your quad coil build in there, you've installed all your cotton, you saturate a little bit with juice, got everything situated. Well, then what you do is you take this barrel right here and you screw the barrel on there. Use that knurling or that knurled section to tighten it, and then boom, you're good to go. I find that doing builds more to the right or more to the left is way more efficient. I get better flavor off this than centering them, because look at the way they're lined up, these slots. But you can do center builds. For me, it's just a personal preference. To unscrew the detachable juice well slash barrier to get this sucker off the deck, all you do is grip the knurled section, and boom, it comes right off. Easy peasy, what a sleazy. Here's the outer barrel slash AFC portion of this device, one of the AFC portions of this device. Now remember how I said in FaceTime you can run this thing in single coil or dual coil or quad coil mode? Well, you can. Okay, you got one slot over here, and that is for your dual or quad coil mode, 2 Cyclops slots on each side, and then you go over here and you've got this other Cyclops slot which is blocked off on the other side, and that's for your single coil mode. These slots up top are for the other top cap portion, top cap AFC portion of this device, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, here is this barrel. You got the O-ring up here for that top cap AFC portion. Inside, and then here's the other portion, the top cap AFC portion. You got the 2 Cyclops slots on each side. One thing I don't understand, and I mentioned this in FaceTime, is why didn't they put a single air hole slot on one side perpendicular with these 2 slots? I don't get that. Maybe that's an upgrade for the future, but we'll see. This slides over that O-ring, and then what you do is you twist it and you adjust your airflow from the top as well. So not only do you have airflow straight to the coil, but you got airflow from the top. You can close that off up top. Open her up. And it's the same on both sides. Alright, so I got a simple single coil build in here using 26 gauge Canthal, and all I'm going to do is screw on the detachable juice well, baby. Slide it over just a little bit. So that is the Hobo RDA version 2.1. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime. 1, here's the company that sent it to me. Epic Vape, epicvape.com. Their link is in the description. 2, like I said, this thing's $99.99 retail, but with the 15% discount code, and here is the discount code, spare change, okay? It's got to be spelled exactly like it is right here. Use that code spare change and you'll get 15% off this product, which should knock it down to 85 bucks. And then 3, if they hadn't sent it, if Epic Vape hadn't sent this device to me to review for you guys, would I have purchased it? And the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. Okay, first of all, the airflow, it got me intrigued. The top cap, you got the 2 top caps, and also the design on the deck. I really like the fact that you have that detachable juice well. But yeah, I would have purchased it because it intrigued me. Yep, definitely would have. And the fact that it's below 100 bucks with that discount code, 85 bucks for this, I think is a great deal. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.